Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Pocomoke City Mayor and Council meeting. Today is Monday, September 15th. It is 6:31 p.m. Would you please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. Councilman Marshall, would you lead us in prayer today?
Absolutely. Heavenly Father, look over these proceedings tonight and allow us as a council and mayor to be wise over the decisions we made. Please look out for all the residents of Pocomoke and their families. In his name, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Moving forward to item number 2, approval of the minutes. Council, is there any unreadiness?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second it.
The motion has been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor use the sound aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose, you have the same right. So moved. Thank you. Moving forward to item number 3, approval of the current bill list for payment. Council, is there any unreadiness? Seeing that there is none, I'll entertain a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills as presented.
Second.
The motion has been properly made and seconded. All those in favor use the sound aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose, you have the same right. So moved. Thank you. Moving forward to item number 4, discussion and decision of horse barn maintenance deep cleaning. Mr. East. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Good vacation, Bill?
Yeah.
Missed me, didn't you?
Not really. Looking at the quotes that we have, Royal Plus and Service Pro, I would say we need to go with Service Pro. Royal Plus was a little drastic,
What do you mean by dress?
expensive.
Oh, okay.
Well, for me, just looking at these are extremely expensive. And I believe that if we're going to do it, maintenance and over and upkeep really has to be followed. But I think that the bigger picture of this is our relationship with the Fair Committee. We really need to delineate duties. This is a lot of money. This is a big undertaking for the city to take on. We need to look at the rent. We need to look at who's managing it. I think a lot more needs to go into this if the city is going to commit to spending $22,000.
Correct.
When I first went into the horse barn, I was shocked at its condition some time ago. I understand there's been some cleaning and the like going on there. It is a city property. At this point, you know, there are some things that we can do as a council looking down the road and maybe alleviate us from having that burden. But at $23,000 and change to clean this thing up, I'm not as concerned about the 23,000 right now, Bill, as I am looking down the road at who is gonna maintain this next month, next year, and the like. The horse barn, in my opinion, should be maintained by the people that are renting it, and it's not being done, and that
Correct.
concerns me. If we can have some sort of indication from them that they will, you know, continue a maintenance program. I mean, it was cobwebs in the ceiling.
Oh, that's what I was about to say.
And,
It was so disgusting.
Yeah, and it's not, you know, and it concerns me from a safety standpoint, not only the horses, but the people that are in there. So I would, you know, I'm all for cleaning it up. I think we need to clean it up. It's a city property. We need to do that. However, we do need for the people that are renting it and the fair community to take some ownership of it.
Correct.
In my opinion, I'd take ownership of the whole thing, but that's down the road.
You know, I'm gonna just say it was disgusting in there. I mean, when I walked through, there were cobwebs everywhere. And I hate to say this, while it is a city-owned property, there has to come a point in time where somebody says, that's nasty, I need to clean it up. You know, it was disgusting. And for any animal to be exposed to any of that, I'm just gonna be frank, somebody should be in jail. It was awful. I mean, it took me a couple of days not to feel like I was being surrounded by those cobwebs that I saw in there. I mean, cobwebs on the ceiling. Where does that happen? Hanging down. It looked like something out of a haunted hayride or something like that. But we definitely have to have conversations about who's going to manage it and who's going to maintain it. Because if it's going to continue to be on the city, then we need to look at the rent for, you know, I mean, people are paying practically nothing to keep their horses there, and the city's being expected to maintain it. But yet and still, there are people that volunteer out there, and I believe that if they had been forthcoming and upfront with what was going on, and actually allowed Public Works to go in there and look and see and different things like that, that we would have never gotten to this point. But the one thing that I can contest to, and I know Brooke was there that day, the day that I went, Brooke was there as well, it was disgusting.
Well, I agree that we need to look at, everything from the city standpoint with the fairgrounds. I don't know how much of it I would feel the responsibility of the fair committee. It's our property, and, you know, I think there's different avenues to definitely improve it from the city aspect, and other talks we need to have about fairgrounds moving forward. I think there's room for improvement, but at the end of the day, it's ours, and you're talking about volunteers out there. So I think the liability falls way more on us than the committee. But regarding the power washing or the cleaning of it, I assume we put out an RFP or whatever, for the bidding process, and this is what we got back. I just think we can get it done cheaper. I know a couple companies that power wash that probably don't know about the bidding process through the city. I don't know if we're allowed to reach out to people personally or not. I don't know the legal ramifications of that, but I just feel like get it done cheaper than this.
I feel like the barn and the fairgrounds are two totally different issues. Like, I feel like they're two, we have to talk about them both collectively, but I feel like the issues from both of them are separate. And this is a lot of money.
Yeah.
What I would recommend for everyone here that hasn't seen it, to go out there and see it. Go look and see what it looks like. And when was this barn built? Because this wasn't the original one. The original one caught on fire, and then this one was built.
This was built back in, I want to say it was early 90s to mid 90s. Because the one that burnt down was on the far corner where McMichael is, in that area. And horses were buried everywhere.
Well, then my other question is, who was running the extension cords?
That I have no idea. They do everything there themselves.
Are we getting cameras out there?
Yeah, we need to get cameras. There are certain cameras out there, but not not right into the horse barn itself.
And they do have a committee for the horse barn. They got 2 committees at the fairgrounds.
Yeah, I think it's incumbent upon us to clean it. Was adequate time given for this RFP?
So I don't know if a formal RFP was issued.
And not a formal RFP because the amounts were below in a sealed RFP would have needed.
So there's never an obligation to accept any offer, so it could be re-advertised, rebid, put on the city website.
Councilman Holland, do you have some folks that we could reach out to that might be able to help us out with the price on this thing?
I can contact them. I think it's worth a shot because I know we have to get my chicken houses cleaned out every 7 years when we clean out, and I know what I pay for that, and it's nowhere near this, and it's more square footage, so.
My thing is, regardless of what is decided, we have to make sure that it's maintained, so we never get back to this point. Regardless of whether we spend the $22,000 or we find somebody that can do it for $5,000 or some volunteers go in there and do it for free, we have to make sure that it never gets back in this shape. So that's gonna require some sort of inspection. Honestly, before anybody even rents a stall, there should be someone from the city going there to make sure that everything is laid out the way that it's supposed to be.
What's your opinion, Mr. East?
Well, with what Mr. Knox said, I go once a month and count the horses in stalls and empties and all that, and I bring it up to Brandy.
Do you think we should go with, in your opinion, should we wait on, to try to find something else, or are these guys gonna do the job that has to be done? I mean, you're the public works guy.
I would try to find somebody a little cheaper.
Okay.
So
I mean, it can't hurt.
let me ask you this, going with either of these companies, because the reality is that everybody that is renting, they would have to move their horses out.
They've got to vacate the premises, period.
Right. What is the turnaround time for these companies? I feel like that's
I've used Servpro before, and they're pretty good. They show up, they do a good job, and they're out.
in and out.
Yeah, they've done a good job for me personally and professionally.
80 hours.
It's 80 hours.
80 hours.
2 weeks.
Yep.
The process.
Is that 80 man hours or?
That should be an hour.
Oh.
80 hours, 80 man hours.
But
So
that
if
80
you're
hours,
four
it will
people,
probably be
then
in 4
it's-
days, so probably run it. Yeah.
It's in bad shape though.
Well,
It's up to you guys. It's up to-
Can we afford to wait the time to find another bid? Or is this a do it right now?
So we don't have to, so it's not necessarily finding another bid. The case is finding a company that can do it effectively and efficiently as well.
Okay.
Servpro's that guy.
So it could be a pause, to say, hey, give us a couple more weeks. Ms. Matthews, do we have the $22,000 to put into this? That's the biggest question. Let me rephrase my question. Do we have the $22,000 budgeted for this? Because we got the $22,000, but do we have it budgeted for this?
No, it's not budgeted.
Do we have anything? Nothing at all?
What's budgeted for? Normally what's budgeted for the horse barn is for the stone dust, the regular maintenance. That's normally the expenses that are budgeted for. So this is out of the norm for the horse barn, for the fair itself.
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we table this until our next meeting, seeking another bid, pending non-vote then.
Motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
The motion has been made and properly seconded. All those in favor, use the sound aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose, you have the same right. So thank you. Great conversation.
Can they, if we go with Servpro, would we have a contract with them where they come out every so often after the fact, so we won't have to deal with that again?
No.
Just a one-time?
Just a one time.
One-time shot, yeah.
Okay.
All right, moving forward to item number 5, discussion and decision of horse barn electrical upgrades. Mr. East.
We had 2 reply from the, whatever we sent out, or the quotes that we called to get from we tried Rommel Electric and Stone Electric. Rommel I'm gonna recommend Stone. He's only 9,500.
My question about this is, why is there such a huge difference? Why is that
Overhead.
right?
Stone Electric only has 2 people working for him, where Rommel's got buku. And they're pretty much apples to apples. They just word it different.
Are you sure?
From what I've read of the 2 quotes, yes, sir.
Because if it has to be done, we need it to be done right.
Right.
And if we have to spend an extra $5,000, we will, to make sure that the electric is properly.
Correct.
Because running extension cords, everything.
Well, that'll all disappear when we put the 200 amp service and outlets.
I make a motion that we go with the Stone Electric quote for the electrical upgrades at the horse farm.
Second.
The motion has been properly made and seconded. Is there any discussion? I do have something I want to say real quick. Does it need to be cleaned before we get the electric?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
As long as they're not using power washers, I mean, we can always cut the main off.
Mercy. The motion has been,
And will you do it before the winter time? Because I don't see anybody power washing in the winter time.
It's inside.
Yeah,
It's in a
that's,
It's not heated, but it's inside.
that's all them.
the motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor use the sound aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose should have the same right. It's gonna be more than power washing. If y'all
It
had
will
so.
be.
Wait a minute.
This is all-
If y'all- He's right. If y'all had seen it out there,
Yeah.
if you would sell what I sell,
We'd run a Halloween,
it's even replacement of wood and everything like that. It's got to be more than power wash. All right, moving on to item number 6. We're trucking right on through.
Are you allowing further discussion?
Hmm?
Are you allowing further discussion or questions, or? I mean, you did the vote, but are you allowing questions real quick?
You can ask a question if the council will allow.
We never finished the vote on the,
Hmm.
we never finished the vote on the electric.
Table.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. We seconded.
We voted.
Is he following?
No. We asked for it. Good.
Go ahead.
Thanks. Mr. East, is there a possibility with Royal, the other one, are they more than once, or are they just a one-time?
It's one time, just one time.
Okay. The contract for there, because I was someone who originally did look at the stables and I'm familiar with the condition. Is the contract, the agreement, doesn't it state that they are supposed to maintain their own stalls?
There's not a contract.
There's-
Well, you're talking about with the renters.
Yeah.
Yes,
agreement.
yes.
Doesn't it state in there that they're supposed to, I could be wrong, but are they supposed to keep it their own
Yes.
equipment area and their stall plan?
Right.
Okay, so that's,
Yes, it is. It is in their contract.
The problem is that it's been a lot of turnover in the horse barn over the years, and, I'm not sure anybody here can say where it was at in the condition when one horse moved into the next and all that kind of stuff. It's been a while since it's been deep cleaned either way, so.
but it should be a check on the condition by the city.
Right.
It's done.
Moving forward to item number 6, presentation of roads and quotes. Mr. East?
I got up with our paving person, Mr. Bosman, and was asked to get quotes to pave different roads throughout the town. If you have a copy of that, it's all over town.
So, Mr. East, I want you to let the public know how this list was determined. Why these streets, tell them what the streets are.
The streets that we picked
You
were,
picked,
huh?
that you picked.
That I picked were all the heights, because the water lines have been redone, the sewers have been somewhat redone, and we wouldn't have to be going back into the roads in the future. There's a few other places throughout the town that we have also picked. It looks to be about 20 roads, at least 15. And the grand total of that was 528,000.
So, council, what Mr. East did was he went through a list of streets that do not need the pipes replaced underneath of them.
Or sidewalks, or
Or
sidewalks.
sidewalks.
Or
Because,
lift stations.
you know, because remember, we've got multiple projects going on all at once. So it wouldn't be logical for us to, do 7th Street, right? We've all seen all the emergency cones down 7th Street. It wouldn't be logical for us to say we're gonna repave 7th Street because we understand that they're gonna bust 7th Street up for the SIP line, project. So these were the streets that Mr. East was able to come up with, that do not need sidewalks or roads.
Yeah, I fully support Mr. East in what he does. He's very good at what he does. I would hope that in the very near future, Cedar Street would be included in the next paving cycle, because, you know,
Lift stations.
the whole thing, Cedar Street is an absolute cluster. The condition of that road is by far one of the worst in Worcester County. So I would hope that when we get things completed there, that Cedar Street will be on the next paving cycle.
I'm wanting to say that the SIP lining, we have a phase coming up.
Yep.
Once the water's done to do the sewer, and that was part of Cedar, and then we could pave it.
Look forward to that happening, Bill. Thank you so much.
Council, if you paid attention, the combined total cost for 5th Street to 6th Street, Isaac Jenkins Street, Bonneville, 14th Street, 15th Street, Payne, oh, I see what you did, Snow Hill to Payne to 15th, Snow Hill to 15th to 14th, Snow Hill to 14th to Somerset, Princess Anne to 14th, 14th to 15th, 15th to Payne, Linden to Payne, 15th to 14th, Somerset to Dorchester, Dorchester in its entirety, Bel Air, and Beach Street. Total cost would be $528,023.
I believe that's under budget, isn't it, Ms. Matthews?
There's another road, winter quarters. Yeah, it was winter quarters from Linden to Hearn. Should have been the last sheet. I
Oh,
believe.
and they also added winter quarters to Linden, which really, we're talking about right here, right?
So
Yeah.
that would finish Center, and Beach, so where we did Center Beach, it would actually finish that whole section.
Button that all up.
So 32,801, and council, that's the bid.
Or there's a motion, was this advertised, or is this just you called and this is?
I called.
All right, I mean, it's $500,000, it's $500,000, it needs to be formally advertised, but I think you have an understanding of what it could cost against what you have budgeted.
I was figuring that we were just gonna pick roads and pave them roads, because the quotes I had broke down by road.
Okay,
That's why we had it.
That's why I went that way with it.
okay, so,
It wouldn't be near as high.
So is it, I guess the decision is to advertise it as the roads the way we see in the proposal, and people can bid on sections, or just put the entire project out there and see what you get?
well, originally, I think that the entire project was supposed to be put out there. So Bill, what you did was you went and got quotes for, I see the numbers, you don't have to
Yeah.
answer that, it was rhetorical, I'm sorry. So council, the question is, do we extend this to go out? I know I've been putting a lot of pressure on you about getting this done, so I appreciate you doing this.
Mhm.
Do we want to extend it out, what is it, a month? Extend it out a month, let the other bids come in for the project as a whole.
Yeah, as much as I wanna just pull the trigger on this thing and get going with this paving, I'm excited about doing it. But, I think we're kinda hamstrung, where we have to put it out to bid as one whole project. Is that right, Andrew?
You can advertise it however you want.
But we need to advertise it.
It has to be, I mean, it's $500,000, it's gotta be advertised. It doesn't meet any of the criteria for, special exception, it's not an emergency, a traditional emergency. So if you advertise it as for these streets and go from there, then you'll get one big bid, because it's more work if you advertise it street by street. Might cost more in the long run because you're not guaranteeing as much work, and they're not guaranteed to be the lowest bid
So
on each
if
one.
they go ahead and advertise tomorrow, this can be back before us by the first meeting in October.
Yep. Make it happen. Start paving. Start paving. Worst writing.
Moving forward to item number 7, proclamation for Sickle Cell Awareness Month. Could you come forward, please? Mayor and City Council, Pocomoke City, Maryland, proclamation. Whereas sickle cell disease is the most prevalent genetic blood disorder in the United States, affecting approximately 100,000 Americans, and whereas sickle cell disease is caused by a gene mutation that leads to the production of abnormal hemoglobin, it is inherited when a child receives one copy of the genes from each parent, and whereas serious problems may come from having sickle cell disease, including sudden onset of strong episodes of pain called pain cries that occur because the blocked blood flows and often requires medical attention. And whereas gene therapies for treatment for SCD are now approved for use in patients 12 years and older, and whereas bone marrow transplants, BMTs, our newly developed gene therapies are potentially corrective treatment options for some patients, and whereas blood donations that are critically needed often require regular blood transfusions and depend on diverse blood supply for the best treatment outcomes to help patients manage the disease. And whereas the Eastern Shore of Maryland Sickle Cell Disease Association has partnered with the City of Pocomoke to support and advocate for sickle cell warriors and their families. Therefore, be it resolved, I, Taja Knock, Mayor of the City of Pocomoke City, recognizes the month of September 2025 as Sickle Cell Awareness Month and encourage all the residents to donate or participate in local blood drives. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Pocomoke to be affixed on this 15th day of September 2025. Signed by Mayor Todd Knock, attest Councilwoman Diane Dale.
That's a video, let me get a picture. Alright, switch it over. Alright, and smile. Maybe 5. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very helpful.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate all of the work that you guys do. Definitely bringing awareness to sickle cell.
Thank you so much.
Don't need it.
It's not Butterfinger.
Moving forward to item number 8, second reading 2026-0-1, ordinance amending the city zoning code for 74.17 acres along Old Virginia Road. Public hearing and vote. Just give me a couple minutes to get myself together. Ordinance number 2026-0-1, an ordinance of the mayor and city council of Pocomoke City, Maryland, amending official city zoning map for lot 1, map 92, grid 2, parcel 210, consisting of 74.17 acres along Old Virginia Road, said property owned by the city, to amend the zoning on the property from M-1 industrial and B-2 general business to plan redevelopment district, referred to as PRD floating zone, as made reference by Charter 230 of the zoning code, Article 7, Section 230-55 through 230-60. Whereas the city owns certain properties located on Old Virginia Road, more specifically identified as Lot 1, consisting of 74.17 acres, map 0092, grid 002, parcel 0210, tax account 01-040332, as recorded by the deed, reference book 2529, folio 375. Whereas the city acquired this property in 1988 and was annexed into the city by resolution number 3350, effective December 21st, 2000. Whereas city official zoning map further classify this property as M1 industrial and B2 general business. Whereas the city seeks to maximize its development potential by amending the zoning district of the property from M1 and B2 to plan redevelopment district PRD floating zone, Article 8, 230-55 through 230-60. Whereas the purpose of PRD floating zone is to accommodate growth in an older section of Pocomoke City by encouraging and facilitating new development on vacant, bypassed, and underutilized land, encourage efficient use of the land and public services, stimulate development investments in areas suffering from economic and/or structural decline, encourage investments in infill and redevelopment projects by providing flexible development standards that permit innovative design solutions, create high-quality neighborhoods, implement the goals, objectives, and policies of the Pocomoke City Comprehensive Plan, encouraging compact mixed-use development that is pedestrian scale. Whereas this property is further described as an all that lot or parcel of land located in the 1st election district of Worcester County, Maryland, west of but not binding on U.S. Route 13, containing 74.17 acres of land, being a part of area 80.42, as shown and depicted on the plot of survey made by George E. Young, PLS, October 10, 1996, recorded in the land records of Worcester County, Maryland, and Plat Book 148, page 64, and more particularly described as follows. Beginning at an iron rod on the east side of the right-of-way of Old Virginia Road at the southwest corner of land now, or formerly of Margaret L. Pilchard, thence by which that said Pilchard's land, and south limits of Pocomoke City, north 82 degrees 04, 51 east, 1,937.24 feet, thence by now with other land of Pocomoke City, Maryland, south 01 degree 33, 27 west, 1,254.02 feet, thence south 23 degrees 03, 28 east, 333.39 feet, thence by with the land of Ann M. Mason, south 68 degree 37, 47 west, 1,660.84 feet to the east side of Old Virginia Road, thence by with the the east side of Old Virginia Road, the following courses and distances: north 21 degrees 32.5 with 1,375.02 feet by a curve bearing north 06 degrees 17.18 west, having a radius of 403.92 feet and an arch length of 215.17 feet north, 10 degree 31.44 east, 386.96 feet to the place or point of beginning. Whereas the property is further made reference to in the following exhibits: Attachment 1, State Department of Taxation account information; Attachment 2, State Department of Taxation account map; Attachment 3, subdivision and annexation plot of the lands of Pocomoke City; Attachment 4, existing zoning map. Whereas the city considers it in public interest to best serve by adopting of this zoning map amendment, whereas the city is authorized by the local government articles of the annotated code SS 5-213 to enact and administer reasonable zoning regulations, and whereas section 4-201 at set land use articles of the Maryland Annotated Code provides a Maryland municipality the power to amend zoning regulations and boundaries, and whereas the Planning Commission met on Thursday, July 17, 2025, and conducted a public hearing to receive public input and acted to recommend approval of this zoning map amendment. Now, therefore, be it enacted and ordained by the mayor and city council of Pocomoke City that Chapter 230 zoning is amended. We will now enter into our public hearing for ordinance 2026-0-1. Oh, 2026-0-1. Council, is there any discussion? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve 2026-0-1.
Second.
A motion has been properly made and seconded. All those in favor use the sound aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose, you have the same right. So moved. Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you all. Moving forward to item number 9. Second reading, 2026-0-2, ordinance amending Chapter 101, building construction, and Chapter 230 zoning code, public hearing and vote. I'm going to take the liberty to read the recommended summation of these.
So what happens in the practice is when the council does the ordinances, to show how it reads with the others, all the other sections that aren't being amended are part of this. And you don't need to read all that. You're just literally just changing, adding some, amending B to expand it in one and D in another. So from here forward, we're just doing some general summations, but each ordinance has been available at City Hall, will be available at City Hall in its entirety in the future.
Thank you. Ordinance 2026-0-2. An ordinance to amend the City Code, Chapter 101, Building Construction, Article 1, Building Permit, and Chapter 230, City Zoning Code, Article, what's that number?
15.
Thank you. Administration and enforcement for the purpose of clarifying and making uniform the time limits and expiration of building and zoning applications, to establish time limits on permits that are not kept active, or when they deem to have expired, to authorize the granting of time extensions upon showing justifiable cause. Whereas Section 4-201 at sec, Land Use Article of the Maryland Annotated Code provides a Maryland municipality the power to amend zoning regulations and boundaries, and whereas the City Charter Section C-12 and C-24 authorize the City Council to adopt resolutions and ordinances for the protection and promotion of the health, safety, comfort, convenience, welfare, and happiness of the residents of the city, among other purposes. Whereas Chapter 1, Building Construction, Section 101-2, Applications, Procedures, Expirations, Fees, and Exceptions. B, provides the construction activity can take up to a year to begin upon issuance of permits and have no reference as the expiration of a permit. Whereas Chapter 230 of the Zoning Code, Article 15, Administration and Enforcement, Section 230-101, Zoning Certificates and Building Permits, D, also allows 12 months prior to requiring construction activity to commence before the permit expires. Whereas builders and owners on occasion have used this extended period of time to avoid necessary repairs. Whereas current language is both above referenced, chapters provided no guidance on when to grant extensions and time limits on extensions. Whereas there is a need to make these aforementioned code changes consistent not only with each chapter, but with language provided by the International Code Council, International Building Code, and Residential Code, as recognized and adopted by the State of Maryland Department of Labor, Maryland's Performance Standards. Whereas the Planning Commission met on Thursday, July 17, 2025, and conducted a public hearing to receive public input and acted to recommend approval of these codes and zoning text amendments. SS 101-2B provides a time limit of application. I will be reading the summation of the proposed amendments to the code. SS 101-2B provides a time limit of application and expiration of 180 days unless a request for extension is submitted in writing and justifiable cause demonstrated. And SS 230-101D provides a time limit for applications and expiration to be 180 days from the date of filing unless a request for extension is submitted in writing and justifiable cause demonstrated. We will now enter into our public hearing for ordinance number 2026-0-2. Council, is there any discussion? I will entertain a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2026-0-2.
A second.
The motion has been made and properly seconded. All those in favor use the sound aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose, you have the same right. So moved. Thank you. Moving forward to item number 10, second reading 2026-0-4, ordinance creating chapter 206, adopting critical area zoning regulations, public hearing and vote. Ordinance number 2026-0-4, whereas in 1984, the Maryland General Assembly passed the Chesapeake Bay Critical Areas Laws in response to a decline in overall qualities of the Chesapeake Bay. The state's Chesapeake Bay Critical Area Commission was created to formulate protective criteria for the use and development of land areas adjacent to the waters of the state, and to oversee the development of critical area land use programs by local jurisdiction. The state law requires that local jurisdictions develop and adopt their own critical area programs based on the state Chesapeake Bay critical areas criteria. These local programs are approved by the commission and reviewed every 6 years. Whereas the Chesapeake Bay critical area is a resource protection program that governs land within 1,000 feet of high tide or tidal wetlands, the program aims to minimize the negative impacts of new development on water quality and to conserve fish, wildlife, and plant habitats. Whereas on January 20th, 1988, the Critical Area Commission approved an exemption for a large portion of the city from the Critical Area Program, but due to growth of the city, since that time, new areas of the city are affected by the Critical Area Program, necessitating that the city adopts a Critical Area Ordinance and Critical Area District map. Whereas the city is authorized by the local government articles of the annotated code in Maryland, SS 5-213, to enact and administer reasonable zoning regulations, whereas section 4-201 is set, land use articles of the Maryland annotated code provides a Maryland municipality with the power to amend zoning regulations and boundaries, whereas the Maryland Department of Natural Resources and the Critical Area Commission staff delivered to city staff on February 9th, 2025, a draft version of the proposed Critical Area Program Ordinance containing rules and regulations for administration of the Critical Area Program requirements, and with assistance of city staff have prepared a final version for adoption by the mayor and city council attached here too as Exhibit A, entitled Critical Area Program, Pocomoke City, Maryland. Whereas the Maryland Department of Natural Resources and Critical Area Commission delivered to the city staff a version of a statewide based map attached here too as Exhibit B, entitled Proposed Critical Area District Map, Pocomoke City, on February 9th, 2025. Whereas Chapter 230, Article
17.
Thank you. Section 230-110 and 230-111 of the Pocomoke City Code require that proposed zoning text and map amendments shall be subject to a public hearing before the Pocomoke City Planning Commission, whereas the public hearing on the proposed Chapter 206 text amendment and adoption of the attached map was held by the Planning Commission on July 17, 2025, whereas at the conclusion of its July 17, 2025 meeting, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended that the text amendment shown as Chapter 206 of the Pocomoke City Code and the map attached here too as Exhibit A and B, entitled Critical Area Program, Pocomoke City, and Chesapeake Bay Critical Area District Map, Pocomoke City, Maryland, be approved by the Mayor and Council, whereas the Mayor and Council have determined that Chapter 206 of the Pocomoke City Code containing the Critical Area Program, Pocomoke City, and the Chesapeake Bay Critical Area District Map, Pocomoke City, Maryland, attached here too as Exhibit A and B, shall be adopted as set forth herein. Now therefore be it enacted and ordained by the Council of the City of Pocomoke City, Maryland. And at this point, I am going to read the summation of the proposed additions to the code. 206-1 provides for the implementation of the Critical Area Ordinance purpose and goals. 206-2 provides development standards in the critical area overlay zones. 206-3 provides supplemental use standards. 206-4 provides growth allocation process requirements and standards. 206-5 provides grandfathering for existing users. 206-6 provides standards and procedures for variances. 206-7 provides procedures for lot consolidation and reconfiguration. 206-8 provides procedures, notice, and posting requirements for local development projects. 206-9 provides a comprehensive review process for program changes and zoning map amendments. 206-10 provides enforcement practices for violations, mitigation, penalties, and remedies. Buffer management plans and fees in lieu of buffer mitigation. 206-12 identifies other habitat protection areas and standards. 206-13 provides general criteria and requirements for locations of water-dependent facilities or activities, commercial marinas, community piers, public beaches, research and educational associated facilities or activities, and aquaculture and fishery facilities and activities. 206-14 provides a Pocomoke City Critical Area Program exclusion area, and 206-15 provides definitions of terms within Chapter 206. If you would like to pick up a copy of this and read it, you can pick it up here at City Hall. We will now enter into our public hearing. Council, is there any discussion? I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-0-4.
Second.
The motion has been made and properly seconded. All those in favor use the sound aye. Those that oppose, you have the same right. So moved, thank you. Moving forward to item number 11, second reading, 2026-0-5, ordinance adopting urban design standards and minimum design requirements, public hearing and vote.
Ordinance 2026-0-5 cites 230-82 as a new section. However, 230-82 already exists and is not being replaced. Therefore, I move to amend ordinance 2026-0-5 so that all references to 230-82 are changed to 230-84.
The motion has been made. There is a second. All those in favor use the sound aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose, you have the same right. Y'all don't brush your emails. Again, as Ms. Cotman says, the ordinance cites 230-82 as a new section, but 230-82 already exists and it's not being replaced. It is supposed to be 230-84. So when I'm reading it, I get stuck up. I'm talking about 230-84. Ordinance number 2026-0-5, whereas the Housing Expansion and Affordability Act, HB 534, was signed into law by Governor Wes Moore on April 25th, 2024, and it became effective on January 1st, 2025. This bill was to provide an additional tool which, an additional tool which Maryland can use to solve the state's 96,000 housing unit shortage. The bill is designed to address the housing supply and affordability crisis in a manner that is sensitive to local zoning, incentivizes affordability, and targets unit construction where it is needed the most. One of its primary components is to prohibit jurisdictions from denying the construction of manufactured and modular home construction types in single-family zones. However, jurisdictions can require that these manufactured and modular homes meet all of the same historic district standards or urban design standards that a more traditional single-family home would be required to meet if located in a designated historic district or in an urban design standard are applicable and are applied uniformly. Whereas the purpose of this text amendment is to provide architectural design minimum requirements. So new infill houses, including modular and manufactured homes, are compatible with the existing neighborhood. And whereas the city has a diversity of neighborhoods and one of the largest national recognized historic districts in the state of Maryland, with over 700 residential and commercial structures with no local adopted historic preservation guidelines. Whereas additional objectives of the proposed amendment are to provide a framework for design guidelines that achieves the following. 1, it establishes standards that can be met through the placement of modular and manufactured housing and standard construction materials, a practice so that compliance requiring an investment on the part of the builder-developer does not jeopardize the concept of affordable workforce housing and infill development. 2, to establish standards reflective of the predominant architectural elements found in the existing neighborhood throughout the city. 3, establish standards that provide for economic construction but do not sacrifice elements with aesthetically improve the neighborhood and that strengthens the long-term value of the property and the neighborhood. 4, relaxes guidelines and restrictive zoning requirements in the city's single-family residential district, which would mandate standardized and/or repetitive factory-style or row-type housing within existing neighborhoods, exhibiting such development patterns, thereby encouraging diversity in the style of house and streetscape of that neighborhood. Whereas the mayor and council have deemed it in the best interest of the city to approve the proposed text amendment by adding Article 12, Urban Design Standards, Section 230-82, entitled Architectural Development Minimum Requirements for Neighborhood Compatibility to the zoning code, and whereas the Planning Commission conducted a public hearing on the proposed amendment on July 17, 2025, and recommended approval of the zoning changes. Whereas the council, after a public hearing and second reading of this ordinance unanimously approved the text amendment and set forth. I will now read the summation of the proposed additions to the code. 230-84A, discuss the general requirements. 230-84B, provides definitions. 230-84C, requires a neighborhood compatibility survey form prior to applications to be reviewed and approved by the Planning and Zoning Department staff based on minimal guidelines. 230-84B provides compatibility guidelines, and 230-84E provides minimum design guidelines for foundation, roof pitch and height on primary structure, setback and lot size requirement, exterior material, facade requirements, and living area based upon result of NCS survey. Thank you. We will now enter into our public hearing. If you would like a copy of this ordinance, you can retrieve it here at City Hall. Council, is there any discussion?
Yes. In section C, item number 2, it says the owner, builder, developer shall conduct the survey of the property surrounding the area. Who will provide oversight for that? Will it be the council or will it be the planning commission?
Repeat that for me.
In section C, item number 2, when it talks about the neighborhood compatibility survey, which I think is a wonderful idea.
It says reviewed and approved by the Planning and Zoning Department staff, so it's not the Planning Commission.
I'm not seeing that. Owner developer, number 2. The owner developer shall conduct a NCS of the property surrounding the proposed site to determine the prevailing height, mass scale, square footage, etc., and type of construction for the adjoining neighborhood. So I guess, okay, in 4, it says oversight is provided by planning and zoning. I understand now, thank you.
Thank you, sir. If there is no other discussion, I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve ordinance 2026-0-5 as amended.
I'll second that.
The motion has been properly made and seconded. All those in favor use the sound aye.
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 Those that oppose, you have the same right. Thank you. So moved, thank you. Moving forward to item number 12, second reading, ordinance 20260-6, ordinance to amend chapter 230 and adopt 230.83 urban guidelines and mural signage standards, public hearing and vote. Ordinance number 20260-6, whereas pursuant to Maryland's Code, annotated local government 5-202, and the charter of Pocomoke City, the city council of Pocomoke City, Maryland is authorized and empowered to pass all such ordinance not contrary to the Constitution and laws of the state of Maryland or the charter as they deem necessary for good government of the city of Pocomoke City, the city, for the protection and preservation of the city's property rights and privileges, for the preservation of peace and good order, to secure persons and properties from danger and destruction, and for the protection and promotion of the health, safety, comfort, convenience, welfare, and happiness of the residents of the city and visitors thereto, and sojourners therein. Whereas presently there are very few guidelines and standards for signage within Chapter 230 zoning code of the city's code of ordinances, and there is a need to adopt a new article of the zoning code to include various design standards to improve the aesthetic and beauty of the city. Whereas there has been a recent resurgence in artistical expressions of wall or art or murals through the city, and presently there are no guidelines to evaluate and permit murals within the city. And whereas the city council of Pocomoke City has desirous of encouraging artistic expressions by the differentiation between murals and signage, while providing guidelines regarding the theme, location, design, material, and procedures thereof, which will not stifle such expression or otherwise infringe upon an artist's First Amendment right. And whereas the City of Pocomoke City Planning Commission, the Planning Commission and staff have developed a mural design guideline as reflected in Article 12 Urban Design Standards, which are attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference, whereas in any section, subsection, sentence, clause, phrase, or portion of this ordinance is for any reason held invalid or unconstitutional by any court or contempt jurisdiction, such portion shall be deemed a separate, distinct, and independent provision, and such holding shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of this ordinance. It being the intent of the City Council of Pocomoke City that this ordinance shall stand, notwithstand the invalidity of any section, subsection, sentence, clause, phrase, or hereof. At this time, I'm going to read the summation of the proposed additions to the code. 230-83 distinguishes between murals and signage to promote public art within the city. The purpose of the design guidelines is to ensure that the aesthetic integrity of a mural design, the compatibility of a mural's location with the standard context to avoid visual clutter. The design guidelines are intended to ensure high quality, visual compatible artwork that represents the community values The design guidelines address theme, location, design, material, process, preservation, and maintenance, and enforcement. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of Pocomoke that the new Article 12 Urban Design Standards Section 283 Sign Standards is hereby created. If you would like a copy of this ordinance, you can pick it up at City Hall. We will now enter into our public hearing. Council, is there any discussion tonight? I'm sorry, is there any discussion?
No.
Seeing that there's none, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2026-0-6.
Second.
The motion has been made and properly seconded. All those in favor use the sound aye.
Aye.
Those that are opposed, you have the same right. So moved, thank you. Moving forward to item 13, formal approval of the city manager.
Really quick, the reason this is being done is we've done some bonds recently, and we have to provide the actual action by the mayor and council. So I know last week the mayor announced it, but we added, with the last one, the state became very particular, and the mayor had to do an affidavit saying that that Linda's actually the clerk and I'm actually the city attorney. So doing this formally on the record, I know there's a consensus, but we'll have these minutes approved and we'll just be able to submit these and hopefully avoid that affidavit issue in the future. So I know everyone already announced it. This is just a legal formal requirement to.
Does it require a vote?
It does require a vote.
Okay. I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve Ms. Brandy Matthews as our city manager.
Second.
The motion has been properly seconded. All those in favor use the sound aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose, you have the same right. So moved, thank you. I was like, what is that? Okay, moving forward to item number 14, comments from the city council. Councilman Allen.
None for tonight.
Councilman Marshall.
Happy to be paving here soon, looking forward to that getting done. Thank you.
Councilwoman Toll.
None for tonight.
Councilwoman Downing.
Nothing.
Councilwoman Cotton.
I don't have any comments.
Thank you. Moving forward to comments from the mayor. I have a lot of them tonight. I'm just joking. No comments.
You know me, I was going to say, Lord Jesus, please.
Just follow my Facebook page. I said all that. Moving forward to comments from the city manager.
No comments for tonight.
No comments. Moving forward to D, comments from the audience. If you have a comment, feel free to come forward, state your name and the street that you live on. Don't let us pressure you. All right. Well, we are not going to adjourn the meeting tonight because we are going to go into closed session. I will entertain a motion to go into closed session.
I make a motion to enter into closed session.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor use the sound aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose, you have the same right. You all are